This is James's dinner for today. So there's manicotti there and some spaghetti squash sushi, some yams and some spinach. And the spaghetti squash sushi was made from this and this. And you can see that with the ingredients there, that the sushi is actually not even vegetarian because it contains rennet. So that's not a vegetarian cheese ingredient. So it's in a lot of cheeses, and if you're vegetarian, you look out for that. So Fargo year 3, and we're probably going to talk a little more about those two, because you can see this absolutely ridiculous outfit that I'm wearing, and I got it from, well, I don't know where I got the top. The bikini top isn't ridiculous. It's great, but honestly, I saw this at the MCC, or no, the Mormon Clothes giveaway last year, and I saw this shirt and I was like, how is it even supposed to be worn? And I thought, well, probably over a bikini top. You know, people want to, for some reason, keep their arms protected, and I don't know. I don't know what its purpose would be. And I was thinking of that when we were watching Under the Stars, and there was a woman wearing it really wasn't very much longer than this, I think. It was a cardigan. Go away, Opie. I don't want you up here now. Go away. Go. No, you don't get to come up if you're going to act like that. You go away. So it was a cardigan, and it didn't have, like, it couldn't button up or anything either, but it didn't come very low, and James was like, well, what is the purpose of that cardigan? Why would it, you know, there's not enough material to even wear it, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's... so then I was reminded of the shirt, which, what's the point? Why did they make it? And somebody bought it. It ended up at the Mormon Clothes giveaway. So, and yeah. Anyway, I love the Mormon Clothes giveaway because then you get to try all sorts of things that you don't really
have to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, so. I might just watch this again. This is really some of the best TV, if not the best TV out these days. So, yeah, the Coen brothers there, they really know what they're doing.
So just in case people can't read it, that's Fargo.
Yeah, Fargo year 3. I already...
Maybe they don't. Oh, you already said. Sorry. I was kind of distracted by Opie there, trying to get him up.
Oh, you want me to reach your fork for you? There you go.
I didn't even touch Opie. He was...
Yeah.
He's sensitive about something.
Well, and I shouldn't get upset with him about it, because you can just
put that up there?
You can go wherever. Because he's a rescue dog, and rescue dogs come with issues, right? So... But he screams a lot if you touch him, so...
Or, no, more if you don't even get to touching him.
Yeah.
You know,
so it's very difficult to want to be friendly to Opie even, because...
to pet him and even before you touch him.
He starts screaming, so...
Well, it's not all the time. No. You don't know when it's going to happen.
You don't know when it's going to happen. So, anyway, Fargo year 3. So... The story of this is basically, it's funny, you know. I've been talking about it, how my life, it's just things happen, similar things at the same time or whatever, and you go, well, this can't be a coincidence, you know. In this show all the time, she's like, this can't, she was the police chief, and then there's some restructuring going on throughout this thing, so she ends up with a different position in the end that she had in the beginning. But anyway, and different position in the middle than she had at the beginning and the end. But the woman who starts out as a police chief, she keeps running into things that she's like, this cannot be a coincidence. What's the chance of this? And whatever, right? And there's other people within the police system. They're not seeing things the same way that she is. And it's interesting for me watching this right now for a number of reasons, because James and I, we've been listening to the Old Testament, and we will be for a long time. It's going on forever. We're listening to the whole Bible, but the Old Testament right now, right? We're working our way through, and so James was talking about David.
King David.
The story of David. And he was talking about, we were listening to the Bible. So the Bible, and then James starts talking about stuff. And James thinks, well, David's the most interesting character or whatever, right? Because historically or something? Is that what you were saying?
Not me. No. He's
okay.
dealt with at great length. Dwelt on. But, no, I find, like, historically, Ahab's interesting. Because we've got actually some of his recorded dealings with the king of Egypt. It was his nominal boss, and it would have been King Tut's granddad.
But anyway,
the third.
They're talking about the brothers. How there's a lot of feuding between brothers in the Bible, and brothers not getting along,
and this is true.
And I would have actually liked it more had one of the characters not pointed that out, the brother thing, because honestly, it's right there. Well, I think that's why they did point it out. They had a character point it out because they were thinking, well, how many people actually read the Bible these days, and what's going on with it or whatever. So, anyway, the one brother, like it's brothers in general in this, right? But from the Bible, but not getting along. But in particular, really the story with the one hairy brother and the other little brother that
Jacob and Esau
held on to his foot and all this.
His heel,
yeah. So anyway,
being born, they were twins, according to the story.
Because that's why in this story, Ewan McGregor's playing both brothers, so they look like twins, right? So that's really the story that they're focusing in on more than the others, and that story is interesting because James, that's where his name comes from.
Jacob.
Yeah. And the meaning of his name means
someone who takes away what belongs rightfully to someone else. Supplanter is the way to say it. In brief, although some people say, and these are something like experts, that it means heel. And they claim it's derived from the story of Jacob holding onto or grasping onto Esau's heel as they're being born.
Now, in Eleanor the Great, she's asked about the story of Jacob and Esau by a rabbi, and she says, well, I think this was the way. Wasn't it Jacob and Esau she was asked about?
I'm not sure.
I think so.
I forgot.
See, because I wasn't paying attention to it back when we were watching this, but then when it was coming up in this, I was like, huh, But I think it was. I think that she was.
So what did the rabbi say?
Well, I think he was asking her about the story of. I think it was Jacob and Esau, and she said, "Well, it Esau was supposed to inherit the title and whatever, right?
Well,
Or
it's
this-
two things he took away. One, Esau, from what I can tell, traded away willingly, willfully too, and that was his birthright. And then
that's right.
they tricked. So that's Jacob and his mother. I think at his mother's connivance.
Yeah. Trick the
still
father
into giving his blessing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that's a bit different too. But
well, that
anyway,
was really
she says,
skunky. It was skunky to Esau, but really skunky to Jacob.
Yeah. So anyway, so Eleanor the Great, she's asked about this by the rabbi, and she said, well, Jacob, he's, even though he this isn't his birthright, he's the better person for the job or whatever kind of thing. He's more worthy of it, and that's why he gets it in the end or whatever. That's not the case. Why? He's not more worthy of it. That's not his birthright, and it's kind of an interesting story because you look at it and you go, well, what kind of, what's God like? this is not an honest situation and whatever, and I don't know. But anyway, so I think while we were watching Eleanor the Great, James and I both disagreed with her opinion or her analysis of the story or whatever, right?
Well, what I will say about this is Jacob played favorites with his sons and with his wife, and he was tricked into the wife he didn't like terribly much, but...
Jacob?
Yeah. So he worked for his wives, right?
Mm.
And he said, I want to, he was at his father-in-law's, no, his uncle's place or something like that, way out in present-day Syria. And he worked, according to the count, 7 years for it. And then he says to his whatever relative, Laban, I think his name is, hey, 7 years are up, let's see Rachel. And Laban says, hey, one thing I didn't tell you is we have a practice in this here country. And the oldest daughter gets married first.
Mm-hmm.
You got to marry Leah. And we don't know exactly what was going on. Some people think she was cross-eyed or something like that. Anyway, we don't know exactly what the biblical account says. We've got to accept these sorts of things. Even the Jews have forgotten now what words mean. We know because there will be markings in the original Hebrew script. It basically says, or footnotes. We don't know what this means. But that's the way it is. There it is. Anyway, he worked 7 more years for Rachel. So he already married to Leah. And then Laban says, hey, I know I promised, but you can't go away with her. Mm-hmm. And they eventually go away. And I think it's Rachel steals the household gods, plural, of Laban, her father. She ends up sitting on them in the tent. I don't know what would have happened if Laban he came following them, caught up with them. Anyway, Laban, probably a force of men. Mm-hmm. Anyway, had to let him go. Couldn't find him. And how come they didn't get her to move? She said, so she was sitting on them. I guess she did voluminous stuff. Said, I'm having my period. Mm-hmm. I'm messing with me. And they didn't. Anyway, he played favorites. But here's what I'll say about Jacob. his favorite son was Joseph, second probably Benjamin. They were the two sons of Rachel. But he raised a good son in Joseph. Joseph was one of the great men of history, folks. He actually existed in Egyptian history. His Egyptian name was Imhotep, which means the god Im, and that's what Elohim actually means. Elo just means God, and Im is a god from Western Asia. He was worshipped in Assyria. He was worshipped in Syria. And we've got the inscriptions. I'm not making it up. So the way the Assyrians would write the Elohim's name Im, is Elohim. Right? They didn't. The script they're using didn't like H's, so on and so forth. Anyway, Joseph, historical figure,
James, I'm confused.
made the first pyramid. It's a step pyramid.
No, just leave him.
And he dates back, way back when, to the third dynasty, second king of the third dynasty of Egypt. And he saved Egypt from a 7-year famine. He was borderline worshipped by Egyptians hundreds and hundreds of years after his death. Maybe the only non-royal figure to be in that category. So Jacob was on the ball there. He raised a son. Presumably Joseph learned how to write, I guess, in Egypt and stuff like that. I suspect the tradition of Hebrew and later Jewish learning dates back at the very least to him and not to Moses, strictly speaking, although I suspect Moses knew how to write, but to Joseph. A long time ago, folks. When Egyptians say, oh, you know, like it was, after 2000 BC. No. It'd be like 2700 BC, somewhere around there. Huh?
So this is a story about two brothers, and the one kind of tricked the other. They'd inherited two things. One inherited one thing from the father, the other thing. The one brother tricks the other into switching what they inherited. So it was thing was a stamp collection, and the other thing was Corvette. And it turned out that the stamp collection was worth way more than the Corvette.
It had an upside down figure on it or something?
Yeah, it had a backwards, well, you can see it on the...
Is it a number 2?
Yeah.
Well, a number 2, I remember that.
So, anyway, so the brother who got the Corvette, his life is not as nearly as good as his other brother. The brother who got the stamps, who ended up with the stamps, he has lots of money, lives in this big fancy house, and the one who has the Corvette, well, he works for the police. He's taking urine tests from people, so he's getting peed on all the time. Yeah. It's not a great life for him. So, anyway, there's the brother thing in here, which that's very interesting, because it's just like the Bible. And I guess the Coen brothers, their names aren't spelled like Leonard Cohen's name.
Doesn't matter. They're all certainly
I mean,
Jewish.
They must be.
Just left in eggshells.
Yeah. So, anyway, it says at the beginning of these shows that it's true story, the names of the characters have been changed, whatever. And I don't know. I mean, if this one's a true story, then it's just wild. The allegory, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. But I guess these things happen. Like in the story, I actually cried. I've been taking St. John's wort, but I'm having a really hard time. I went for a walk this morning. Even though it was minus 25, I was like, that's it, I got to get out of here. So, because it's, for me, I have to be out in nature to feel good, like out walking. And this exercise machine here, it helps me. It's helping me stay in shape and get in shape this winter and everything like that. And I'm sure it helps me feel better too. But boy, it's easy to get down when weather's like this.
People need sunshine, need fresh air,
So,
and they need exercise. And so exercise isn't enough. But they do need exercise.
so I was out for a few hours today. But anyway, at one point in this I cried because the woman who started out as a police chief at the beginning, she was talking about how she doesn't feel like she exists because a lot of the time she'll the automatic door openers, they won't see her and they won't open the door for her, you know. She'll go up to them, she'll be waving or whatever, and the taps won't turn on. It's like they don't, it's like she's invisible, like she doesn't exist, right?
It's like me with dispensers for...
Yeah, it happens to you too.
And taps happen to me too.
Yeah.
Doors rarely, but...
It probably happens to everyone. But the thing is I've said that to James before, and it's very frustrating, you know. I've said it to all sorts of people, like, sometimes, well, it happens quite often at the library, those doors don't work for me. And sometimes the security guards, they'll stand up and open the door because it won't register that I'm there, right? I'll be backing up and trying to get in.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I've said that, right when James and I started to get to know each other, James was telling me about how he, in university, you know how you have those different clubs that people they'll form, and I don't know why. I guess maybe because people get lonesome and they're away from home and they need to feel like they're a part of something.
They used to call them clubs at the university.
Yeah.
Now they just come up and call them fraternities and sororities.
Oh.
I don't like them being called fraternities
I
and
think
sororities.
they still call them clubs here. Clubs. But anyway, James was telling me that he started the Solipsis Club.
Yeah.
And
formed it too. It's not as though I started a branch.
yeah. And I thought that was funny because, and I told him at the time, it's funny that you forming the Solipsis Club and I believe that I don't exist, you know, like it's just and most of the time I am quite firm in my belief that I don't actually exist. So it's when she said that, I just started crying because I'm like, wow, you know, somebody else feeling that. But the thing is, she noticed things. She noticed that the door wasn't opening for her, and she noticed that people weren't hearing her. She'd be talking, people, it seemed like they weren't hearing her. But the thing is it was happening to other people in the story too. At least people weren't hearing each other, right? So, anyway, so it's probably just one of those things. It's like do you notice it, or do you somehow just it escapes you, right? And so she noticed things that other people didn't in this, right? So she was able to figure out what went on, what happened. Anyway, it's interesting that we were watching. I should have pulled out the other movie too that we'd reviewed last time, because the art film, what was that called again? I don't remember.
The one with the Latino guy or
Yeah.
Japanese guy, whatever.
Anyway, it was the woman's name, but I don't remember what the woman's name was.
Daniela.
So, anyway, in that film, they were trying so hard to make it artful, and there were parts that were really interesting, like when he was walking down the street and the vehicles were hitting him and then bouncing off him like balloons. That was really quite beautiful.
Kind of wish things like that could really happen.
Especially, like James was telling me, my neighbor, who's
Yeah.
She's quite old now, really. I don't think of her as being old, but
No,
she used to have red hair and now it's silver, right? So that has all changed for her.
But
But she's still very fit. So
she's got to be the best-looking 79-year-old in the history of the world, really, when you think about it.
she keeps herself in shape. She's out there
Keeps herself in
gardening.
shape.
Well, not right now, but she's out walking and whatever, right? She's really...
You know, she had very nice features, but a small nose, and people's noses get bigger when they
and red hair.
get older.
She had beautiful hair.
Okay. I don't know.
But anyway, so she was hit. Well,
The hit and run drive. The way she described it was, the person who hit her is very lucky that she was an active 79-year-old. She could be at the very least, paraplegic. So she said, the way she described it was, she's draped over the hood, staring right into... She could see the inside of the car, was looking at the guy right in the face. So left-hand turn. Guy stopped.
Yeah.
But only long enough for her to get on, draped off of the windshield.
And then he drove away.
Not the windshield,
what a
but
person.
The hood. And then he took off. Well, what a person. What kind of a person? That's criminal. That's a hitting and running. You know, like she could have been in.
So I watched the extras in this, and I was thinking, somebody said, one of the actors, I think it was Ewan McGregor, but I can't remember. Anyway, was saying none of the characters are really good guys or whatever. And I was thinking, well, what about the police chief woman? She's a good guy. I don't think she's done anything wrong in this. So there's a lot of people who, a lot of the characters, they're bad guys. You know, they're really, all of the criminals in this, they're very bad guys. They're not, there's nothing like, oh, well, there's not really big or good or whatever.
But that applies to criminals, generally.
Yeah. Anyway. I like that they had Leland from Twin Peaks in here.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I can't remember what the actor's real
name
is.
But that's all we know about. You know, people have been using him.
But he's so awesome. And so he had sort of a Twin Peaks kind of role in this.
I think that's one reason why he hasn't been used. He'd be kind of typecast just from that role.
So he was a little bit mystical or whatever. And yeah, it's really interesting. It's really artful. Anybody who liked Twin Peaks is going to like this, of course. I liked seeing the Alberta winter scenery.
They say
more
it's
in this than
in
on my walk this morning.
So
well, you can see.
We've actually seen things that we've actually seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
You know that one industrial place where the murder takes place? You know, where they're parking, there's lots of trucks.
Oh.
I think we actually might have stopped there. I think we got lost. I don't know how we got out there. It's over on the east side of Calgary.
Well, they were saying bicycle or something, and
we have bicycles northeast. We've never been.